My name is Cassie Jo Wynn-Husar. I am an iCEV curriculum consultant for Oklahoma. Thank you for joining me for our Connecting Students with Careers using iCEV workshop. Please make sure that you drop any questions you have into the chat box as we go along. Then we will answer these as well as others during our live Q&A session at the end. So please stick around. I'm really excited to visit with you about our career exploration site today. So let's get started by sharing my screen. And I am going to start right from the beginning on how to log into iCEV online. There are a few different options. You can either log in with your username and password, or if your district utilizes Clever, ClassLink, or Google Classroom, you can sign in utilizing one of those avenues automatically. If you are a new user signing into iCEV, the page you will first be directed to is our Add a Course page. And so from here, you're able to select from our pre-made course playlist that we offer and have built for you and add those over to your My Courses, and then you can later on customize those if needed. If you are a current user or have a review account, once you log in, the iCEV platform will direct you to your main hub, which is called your My Courses page. As you can see, I have already created a course playlist, and this course is a career exploration course that has been adopted in Oklahoma for this previous year. And so I have selected this course to showcase to you today simply because it is a great overview of everything that we have to offer in the career exploration site. Now, when I say this is specific to Oklahoma, it is specific because it meets our state standards. Now, some states are Common Core states. We're a state that have our own set of standards. And so we make sure as a company that we have aligned our lessons to meet your state standards or an industry certifications, whichever is needed, to make sure that you have the content needed to teach your students. And those standard alignments can be found in this PDF located in the top right-hand corner of your lessons page. So once I click on that, it'll provide me the alignment and the suggested pacing guide for this course. It gives me my scope and sequence, lesson titles, the days of teaching, and then the learning competencies and which lessons fit those learning competencies. And so, like I said, if you are a Common Core state, this may look a little bit different on your end, but since I am in Oklahoma, this is how we have these set up. Let's jump into a lesson. So all of our lessons are multimedia based as they are all online. And so you're either going to get a PowerPoint or a video for the lesson. So for exploring careers, let's jump into arts, AV, technology, and communications. This is a video lesson. We have our main video content here in the big screen, but then we've also taken this lesson and broken it up into different sections so that the student can doesn't only have to watch the whole lesson all the way through, but they can jump back to certain content if they need to review anything. And so that makes it really nice and easy to navigate for those students. At the top right-hand corner of the lesson, we are always going to have a lesson plan attached. And so from here, we basically break out the whole lesson for you. We give you the goals, the description, the objectives, the alignment for your state. And then we take our lesson and we break it up into different class periods or day by day, depending on which schedule you have. And so we tell you how many minutes of the video to watch, and then what type of projects, activities that you do within that lesson each day. Below that, we have different reference links for you to utilize. So these are things that we utilize when creating the lessons and that we thought we would provide to you just in case you want to refer back to them if you needed more information. To the right of that is our career connections. So our main point today is connecting students with careers. So how does iCEV do that? Well, not only do we have really awesome videos, PowerPoints built that dive in to the actual careers, but we also have interviews that we have done with numerous individuals within numerous industries that the students can view and learn from an actual individual within that industry, which is really awesome. So these career connections can be located at the top of the lesson here in the drop-down menu. So if I select a playlist, utilize that drop-down arrow, here are all the career interviews specific for this lesson, specific for this industry. So keep in mind, there's going to be different interviews for each exploring career industry that you're looking at. So those students can learn anything from these iCEV technology. And I'm going to use Brian Mudd as an example, as he's a news anchor there in Texas. And he describes his activities throughout the day. He describes how he got into that position, but it gives those students an idea of what it's like to actually be in that career from an individual that is in that job. And so our career connections are second to none. And we also provide activities that relate back to those career connections that those students are going to be watching. And so one of those is a career interview. So the student's going to use the career interview activity handout and answer the questions on that handout after watching some of the professionals that are within that industry. And then we also have projects that dive a little bit deeper into that specific path or specific industry. And for example, they're using these as journals. So they're going to develop a journal and talk a little bit more about AV technology and film and printing and technology and the things that they're learning through not only those career interviews, but also our main video as well. If you scroll to the bottom of the lesson, you're going to have two options in terms of assignments, exercises, activities, projects that those students can complete for this lesson. So if we click on instructional materials, these are printable materials that the student can utilize. You can either share them via your learning management system, or you can simply print them out and hand them out in class. But each video that we have, one thing I want to mention is we have a video transcript that is attached to each of those video lessons. And what that means is the student can go through and read the video transcript if they want to after viewing the lesson, or if you have an English language learner, you can drop this video transcript into Google Translator and it'll translate it into any language that you need to help those ELL students. Now, those activities and projects I was describing earlier in the lesson plan can also be found here. So that career interview handout looks a little like this. It's just a PDF document. We try to provide as much details on where to locate our material as much as possible. And then below that is the career interview that they are going to conduct. So there's 5 different questions that they're going to answer for that interviewee as they're watching that interview and then showcase what career they were actually in. Below that, we provide vocabulary handouts as well as a worksheet. And then, of course, we have an assessment at the end that the students can complete. Now, like I mentioned earlier, you can make them visible to students or not. I have some of these unchecked as visible. Some of these are check marked back as visible to the students. But those ones that are grayed out boxes that I cannot do anything with, it's so that you don't accidentally share those with the students. We don't want to accidentally share the answer key to the worksheet via our learning management system. And we definitely don't want to do that with the assessments either. And so those are the only ones that you are not able to share online, but the rest you are able to, or you can print them out in class. If we go to our interactive assignments, these are the assignments that the students are going to complete online and are self-graded. So we have taken our vocab handout up here, which includes the keyword definitions. So I can give this in class, tell them this is to study, and then they can go on to their iCEV platform and complete the vocabulary self-graded questionnaire. So some of these are drag and drop, some of them are multiple choice, some of them are labeling. They're really easy to navigate for the students. So the student would just go through these, select which definition meets which keyword, click finish, and then it's automatically going to be graded and dropped into the grade book. And so here we are. I've only got 4 out of 9, 44%. And then I can see that I missed what I missed and what I got right. Let's jump back to the interactive assignments. So we have that vocab, and then we have multiple different worksheets that we've built out based on the different areas of this industry. And then we have a final assessment here at the bottom. Now, there are a few extra details or modifications that you can make to your interactive assignments. If you don't want some of these showing up on the grade report, they do not have to. You can also deactivate them on a specific date. You can share these ones with Google Classroom if needed. If that's a learning management system you need, you just simply click on this green chalkboard, it'll share. Now you can see I have both of these turned off, but that's because I don't have them visible to the students anymore. But as soon as I make them visible to the students again, that's where my Google Classroom ability comes back. Now I can show question feedback. I can show them, hey, this is what you got right, but you missed 2, but I'm not going to give you the answers for those 2. Or I can give them the answers for those 2 and show them the correct answers at the end. I can also provide an attempt threshold. So if you want to allow them to take it more than once, this is where you can provide that threshold. And then, of course, the same goes for the assessments down here. Let's jump back to the lesson playlist. Now, as I mentioned earlier, some of them are video-based and others are PowerPoint-based. So if I go to Formulas for Career Success, I am going to start where I left off, but let me jump to the beginning really quick. Because one thing that I love about our PowerPoints is, yes, I just went through, I shuffled, I think, through 16 different slides. But if I start from the beginning and I go to our main menu, if I want to jump to career investigation and not sift through 20 slides before that, I simply just have to click on this interactive red button next to the career investigation title, and it will take me to that section of the PowerPoint. So then I'm not have to sift through those other 39 slides before that. So we can also pop these out using our arrows down here. And of course, at the top here is the lesson plan, and then as well as the career interviews attached to this lesson. So we, like I said, we will have as many career interviews as we possibly can that'll fit that lesson attached. And so students are able to utilize those and jump into those careers a little bit further. Again, here are the instructional materials. So as the same for the video transcript, we also give you the ability to download the PowerPoint and print those off to give to your students in class. We also provide a grading rubric. And then, for example, we have student notes attached to this PowerPoint here. So these student notes, you can either print out in class and the students will fill them out. They're all fill in the blanks. Or they can complete the student notes in an interactive way right here. So we have the student notes broken up into 3 different sections. I do not want to show them on the grade report, but they can still review them and fill them in for extra practice. Here we have different assessments. We've taken this lesson and broke it up into 3 different sections, and then we have a cumulative assessment at the end, which is established by this green star. Let's go back to our lesson playlist. If we scroll down a little bit further throughout the lesson, we see some employability skills. You're going to see some series, and what I mean by series, you're going to see exploring careers. And there's multiple different lessons, so that's a series. Formulas for Career Success is a series. And then we have some individual personal development content that is added here to this specific course playlist. I would like to customize this playlist a little bit further because as an iCEV subscriber, you are going to have access to the full library, not just what we put into those pre-made course playlists. So let's customize this course and see what else career exploration has to offer. To the right-hand side of our library, because this is the beginning of our library. So the right-hand side is our selected lessons. So this is our current playlist we have. Now, if I follow along with a specific syllabus, I'm going to reorganize these, right? So I just have to pick up and drag and drop those lesson titles and reorganize them how I would like. I can also remove content. So eating with Emily post, I do not need that lesson in here, so I'm going to remove it. If I would like to change the course title, so let's say this was first period this semester, second period next semester, I can easily change it here. And then let's jump into the actual content that we have within the library. As a curriculum consultant, I am going to be able to see all the pathways we offer. But one thing I do want to point out, just in case your main subject isn't career exploration, I want to show you that we do have a little bit of careers mixed in with each of our pathways. So agricultural science, there's those career subject categories that we have to offer within that pathway. Same thing goes for family and consumer sciences. But let's jump down to the career exploration side. Here is everything and anything we have to offer for career exploration. So we have taken all of our lessons and dropped them into different categories. So we have career guidance, career cluster exploration, and then personal development and computer and technology and skills. If I were to click on, let's do personal development, financial literacy. Here is everything that we have to offer for that specific category. So you can see it is quite a few. However, you can also see that we've already added a few over to our list. So that's when they're highlighted gray and they no longer say add next to them. They're already within our course playlist that we have. Now, let's say we do want to add some of these. So let's look at credit basics. I'm going to click preview. It's going to give me a short description of what this lesson entails. The media type, as you can already see, is video, how long the video is, and then the goals of the video. And looky here, here's those career connections again. And so I can jump back to those as a student to see, okay, Anthony Nash, we did a career interview with him in this credit basics lesson. So let's exit out. All right, I think I want to add that to our playlist. Simply click add, go to the bottom of our current playlist, and there is that lesson. And so from here, I can reorganize it how I want. Okay, so that was a quick rundown of our library and how to customize your playlist. Let's click finished. Those modifications are saved. But now I want to show you what else we have to offer when you start building your courses. So you can use this as a quick reference if you are specifically looking for a special category or you're looking for some field trips. And what I mean by that is we have our pre-made course playlist set up in this tab right here, which these are the playlists that align in your state based off of your standards in the state. If we jump over the subject area playlist tab, here you can see that we have taken our series, or what we call our series of lessons, and dropped them into a specific course playlist for you. So if I want more content on personal development, but I don't want to really dive into the library, I'm going to select personal development, copy that title, drop it into the course title box here, click add course, and it's going to be added right here at the top. But I'm not done yet. I want to add one more course to showcase to you all. Hit the certification playlist tab. So as a iCEV, we have been reached out to by numerous industry leaders, organizations to use our curriculum as preparatory content for a certification for their specific area or organization. And so we said, sure. And now we have roughly 17 certifications that we host on our platform. These three pertain to the career exploration site. And so you can utilize these with your students if they want to dive a little deeper. The cool thing about this is, let me copy this title add it to the course up here, click finish, and you can see this is a certification simply because of the blue ribbon. If I select this certification, the cool thing is it's set up just like a course playlist is, but you will notice some of the lessons you are already teaching in your courses are sprinkled here within this preparatory content for the certification. So this can be a great review for your students at the end of the semester. If they want to, like I said, take it a little bit further and complete a certification, they can. And then some of these they may have to learn from scratch, but we give everything in terms of here's the lesson, here's the instructional materials, and the only thing that that student has to complete before they move on to that next lesson or for the final certification test to open up is to complete this last assessment here. So it's really nice that some of the prep content already refers back to your courses, and the student, once they complete these lessons, that last certification will pop up, and we will proctor, or you will proctor that exam. That student will complete that certification. If they pass with a 70% or higher, they will receive a certificate in the mail, specifically from that organization and us as their host. Really great content. As you can see, we jump into that personal development course that we also added. And here's all those lessons that relate back to personal development, simply because I was interested in that area. Okay, thank you for joining us today. Please stick around for the live Q&A, and I look forward to visiting with you further.